Hello all, warm welcome. I am Rotaractor Srinidhi and greetings of the day to all the Rotaractors who are listening to this particular small video series on how to write report. So any impactful project has to be reported maybe to the district or it may be to the Rotaractors of your own club, it may be to your parent Rotary club or maybe to be put in some newsletters or newspapers. And one of the problem which Rotaractors face is while writing the report. So report writing is not a very tough job. It is a very simple technique or it is a very simple thing. But where we fail is in understanding what is the content that has to be in the report and how to portray it to the people. We of course know that we do a lot of projects in Rotaract, maybe community service projects or it may be professional development projects, it may be international service, club service projects. But public image is something which is very, very important. And if your project has to have its own impact, if it has to be effective, then the report has to be effective. So when I spoke to a lot of protractors in and around my maybe in my club or it may be in any other clubs, so everyone requested for one thing is they need to learn how to write reporting. Now, I'm not condemning or I'm not criticizing anyone that you have not learned this in your high school or you should have learned this in your college, etc. But it's a basic concern that though we know and we know well to speak, we know well to write, somewhere we feel a little hesitant while compiling the points to be included in the report. Today I'm trying, it's an attempt to help you in writing a report and I will try to make it as simple and as best as possible. If there are any technical issues or if there are any mistakes from my side, kindly excuse me. It's the first trial of me having a monologue in front of the system where I'm trying to have no interactions but uh, creating a lecture series to teach about how to write report. Let me share the screen now. So this particular series is for Rotaractors for how to write the report. Now, a few basic things which our report has to have is the organizer's name. It may be your club, you might have hosted it, you might have co-hosted it, or you might have participated in it. So it may be any type of participation or hosting or co-hosting, but ensure that you put organizer's name properly in it. So when you're writing organizer's name, be very clear on who is the organizer and what is that your part is in. So if you have taken part in it, you should always mention the event was organized by someone, some other club, but we have taken part in it. Let us not mix up and take the credits of organizing an event where you had just participated in. So be sure of organizer's name and then be sure of the date when you have either attended a event or you have organized an event. It may be a continuous event, it is going on present too. You can tell the starting date and for how long has it taken place, and time may not be so important, but if required you can involve voluntary hours. How many hours did you actually take part in? One more very important thing is what is the name of the event which you attended? What is the name of the event which you attended? And one more very important thing is don't make any mistakes while mentioning the name because the name of the event is itself a brand. Then the name of participants who took part in it. It may be the name of the organizing team or the people who spoke, etc. So you should also ensure few more things, as in why was it held, where was it held, and how was it held? How did it go on? And what is your takeaway from this particular event? These are the simple tricks which you can use to ensure your report is beautifully put. Now, there are different types of reporting. As I said, maybe you are reporting to your club members, or maybe you might be reporting to the district, or you might be reporting to the parent Rotary. So, few of these require certain things like voluntary hours. It may also require certain things like the amount of the cost or the expenditure of the event. All this will be slightly important. It can be as a points, and sometimes you can also mention which avenue your projects come under. All this can be put in your report. Sometimes it can be as points. There are some clubs which beautifully utilizes the emojis and tries to make the report as points. And if in case you're trying to put it into a newsletter, some of the clubs have taken responsibility of getting the newsletters out now. So if in case you're trying to bring out the newsletter, then you will have to have paragraph wise where you're going to go in detail of whatever has happened. In our first attempt today, let us try to go paragraph wise. So before I could start, one more very important information which I would like to give, which I have already given to all my club members, is any report can be your experience because you attended it, can be an experience of a group of people because you all attended it, or it can be a professional report. A very pleasing report is that which is written in third person. So you know that there is a first person, second person, and third person of writing. So if I say, I attended an event and I enjoyed it a lot, so that is first person. So when you are reporting as a representative of a club, if in case you are trying to write a diary, or if you are asked to write your experiences of attending a particular program, you can always mention, I enjoyed it, I could meet people, I met so and so person, I took a selfie with so and so person. So you can mention I everywhere. But a report sometimes, when asked, maybe this, if the secretary of a club is writing the reports on behalf of the club, representing the club, I will not be suitable. So what usually we jump in for, if I is not suitable, we around 4 to 5 of us attended this event, let us use we, and we put in, we enjoyed it, we had fun, we had our fellowship lunch, etc. But again, report may not always be a sharing of experience. It may be reporting. So reporting of an event which has occurred. So that time, ensure that you are writing it in third person. So I would suggest, do not write I, do not write we, but write in third person, as in the members of the club. So it may be you, but you're trying to mention standing as a third person and telling those are the members of the club and they enjoyed it a lot. This is usually how the report sounds pleasing to listen, unless you are asked to write your experiences. So try to avoid personal experiences in the report unless and until asked to do so. Especially for the club secretary's report, it is always recommended to write as a third person, feeling that you are a journalist, you are trying to report what your club has done without feeling that you are a member of that club. Now, to give you an example of how a report could be, I would take a small example again. Let me try to take one of the events which has recently happened in my club. So this is a project which I have been a project chair of since 3 years. This is the third year the project happened. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Memorial Lecture. Since I am making it general for the usage of any club members, I will not take out many names here, but I would like to take out the names of the club which I am a part of, and I would like to take the names of certain people who were a part of this particular lecture, the important people. So the name of this event was Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Memorial Lecture 2020. As I said, I have mentioned the name of the event very clearly. So now to think of which avenue does it come under, because if you're writing in terms of points, you can mention avenue as professional service because it is one of the lecture series. And who are the organizers? So when it comes to organizers, as I said, there are three types of organizing: hosting, co-hosting, or you might be having a joint project, that is co-hosting. And then it can also be attending or participation. So which doesn't come under organizing, it just comes under participation. So hosting. So this event was actually hosted by my club, that is Rotaract Club of Bangalore, Shesharipuram. But a small twist in this program is every year when we run it, though we run it by ourselves, we do it in association with some or the other organization so that the Rotary or the Rotaract and the non-Rotaract connect also improves. So it is a public image building activity too. So taking that into consideration, I would like to start off with, so who is the organizers and what is that they have done? So immediately jumping to the topic is one of the way of writing a report. I can also start with something which is slightly pleasing and slightly different to make it a little decorative kind of a report. Try to imagine now that I'm writing this particular report to be put in a newspaper or a newsletter of my own club, or you're writing a report to be put in a newspaper or a newsletter of your own club. So you should make it a little attractive. So what is that you can do is you can go for a quote. So I'm sorry for a technical error. There was some technical issue. I'm restarting the screen sharing. Yeah. So we were discussing about the project, that is writing the article or a report on Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Memorial Lecture, and I was sharing you the details of how there can be a quote which is added. So let me try to put in a very famous quote said by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, that a dream is not the one you see in your sleep. A true dream doesn't let you sleep. So this is a quote I'm trying to type. A dream is not the one that you see in your sleep. A true dream doesn't sleep. So we have understood now adding a quote gives a decoration or it beautifies our report. So what next? So we can right away start with the organizer. So who organized? So I can start it in different ways. I'm giving one of the ways in which I would write the article or report. I'm sorry, not article, a report on it if I'm asked to do so. So I would start off with Rotaract Club of Bangalore, Shesharipuram. In association with. So it is important to mention the co-host's name. So I have written Rotaract Club of Bangalore, Sheshadipuram in association with. It was conducted along with a college. So I'm entering the college name, Atria Institute of Technology. So what did they do? Rotaract Club of Bangalore Shisharipuram. As I mentioned, I could have written I witnessed a program or I went to a program or we from Rotaract Club of Bangalore Shisharipuram did this. But here we are not trying to share experience. We are here to report an event which has happened. So Rotaract Club of Bangalore Shisharipuram in association with Atria Institute of Technology organized. So I would like to tell it without typing if it is possible. So organized the annual Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Memorial Lecture 2020. So here I have mentioned the organizer's name. Was it supported by anyone? So I'm going ahead and telling this event was supported by Rotary Bangalore Spandana. Next, I'm going to give a gist about the program which has happened previously if it is a continuous program as an introduction to this particular program. So I would say Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Memorial Lecture is an annual lecture series organized by Rotaract Club of Bangalore Shisharipuram every year on the remembrance of Dr. Kalam on his death anniversary. This is the third year of the event, and the event ran successfully on 27th July 2020. Now, I have mentioned the organizer's name, I have mentioned the date also. I have mentioned that this happened on 27th July 2020. So, what next? I can again pull in back and stitch it to the introduction of the program. Every year, the lecture series runs on certain themes, and so did it for this particular year too, where the theme of the event was defense and indigenous technology. So here I told that the theme of the event was defense and indigenous technology. Full stop. After that, you can continue with who all attended the program or what happened to this particular program. So you can also give an introduction of who and all were in charge of it. The event was chaired by Rotaractor Srinidhi SU, immediate past president, Rotaract Club of Bangalore Shesharipuram, in his third consecutive year as a project chair. And the students and staff of Atria College of Engineering, along with protractors of RID 3190, attended this event. As the theme says, defense and technology, the resource persons were also from the same field. The lecture series consisted of two lectures, one on defense and the other on indigenous technology. Then, so I have just given a gist or a brief of how the sentences can be framed as an introduction. Now, this can be one paragraph. The second paragraph, I will jump into what happened from the very beginning, reporting what did each people do. So I would go with the Rotary four-way test was administered to the audience by IPP Rotaractor Srinidhi SU, and Protractor Apurva NH, past president, took over as master of ceremony of the event. It was a virtual event attended by around 75 to 80 audience or people. Then invocation song, if there are any, you can type. Invocation song was sung by so and so person, which made the event even beautiful. And then you can go ahead with who gave the welcome address. Usually we give the welcome address in the agenda. So you can give whoever in the event. In this particular event, it was me. So I can say, again, I could have given, I said it, but I'm trying to report as a third person. So I will be writing it as IPP Rotaractor Srinidhi SU presented the welcome address to the people who were present during the event. Or I might have done a small mistake while telling you the truth that as far as I can remember, it was someone else. So you can also tell in my club, if I'm not wrong, it was a vice president, Dr. Lavanya, who gave the welcome address. So I can actually reframe the statement instead of my name to put her name as Dr. Lavanya E, vice president, delivered the welcome address, after which IPP Srinidhi SU introduced about the event to the audience. And then you can go ahead with who introduced the guest of honor and who were the guests of honor. So you can go on and tell Colonel Narasimha and Professor Sudhindra Halduderi were the two resource persons. Protractor Vishal introduced Colonel Narasimha, after which, after the introduction, Colonel Narasimha took over a half an hour session and inspired the youth to join the defense. He, through his experience in being in defense, explained the benefits of taking part in the defense activities or having a short-term service in the defense and motivated the youth to join Army, Navy and Air Force. The second half of the event was a session by Professor Sudhindra Haldoderi, who was introduced by Rotaractor Rakshit Shetty. Professor Sudhindra Haldoderi, an ex-ISRO scientist, ex-DRDO scientist, gave a lecture on how the indigenous technology were imbibed into the DRDO through Dr. Kalam. He was serving as an assistant to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and had taken part in the technological revolution in the DRDO in bringing out indigenous technology. And so his works in several aircrafts and missiles were recollected and explained to the audience in this discourse. So here I have tried to tell what all happened during what they did or whatever the session which they took, what all happened during that were explained. After which we can go with both the sessions were followed by question answers and or questionnaires, and later on the vote of thanks was given by XYZ, protractor XYZ. The Rotaract Club of Bangalore Shesharipuram heartily thanked the resource persons for their presence. We could have told, or we can say the president of Rotaract Club of Bangalore Shesharipuram, or the president and the board of directors of Rotaract Club of Bangalore Shesharipuram. You can include these words and say they thanked the resource persons, and also thank the college for the cooperation and coordination throughout the event. The event was attended by around 60 to 70 audience who made the best use of the knowledge delivered during the lectures. So here you can add the audience number either in the beginning or you can add them at the end. So any of these two can be done. Throughout the event, I did not use I or we enjoyed it, nothing of such type of experiences. So to make it elaborate, if you're writing a little more elaborate event report, you can also include the exact points which were told during these events. And you can also make use of certain quotations. You can make use of the words which the resource persons used, or if any other people spoke. Like I left out here that even our club advisor had spoken. So that also can be mentioned before we could come to vote of thanks. So we can mention that later on, the comments on the program were taken by Rotarian Mirabai Shankar, club advisor, and also by Dr. H.J. Surendra, head of the department, Adria Institute of Technology, who were the guest of honor for the day. So with this, all the people who are important, their names have come. And later we have also tried to elaborate what are the actions which are done. I wish to write it and show it to you, but due to lack of time, I'm not able to. Probably you can try it and try to phrase it. And any of the events which your club has already undergone, try to write reports on that and try to make it beautiful. At the end, you can also give some thoughts or some quotations or some poems written by Abdul Kalam. And you can say the lecture was very wonderful, and we are and the next session or the next theme of the next lecture would be so and so, which is awaited for the next year. So with this, you can conclude the report. So these are several ways in which a report could be written. So as I could summarize, so try to mention the organizer's name properly, the event's name properly, all the people who took part in it, and all the people who did certain actions in it, they can be mentioned if it is a hosting event. If it is a participatory event, how will you write? You can always write, say, I as an outsider of the from different club attended the same event. I can write, Rotaract Club of Bangalore, Shesharipuram, organized its third year Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Memorial Lecture. Same thing will be written. So many people spoke, and this is what they have spoken. And from my club, XYZ Rotaract Club, five participants had attended the event who made the best use of the knowledge delivered during the lecture series. If they had asked any questions, you can mention that, or if they were recognized, you can mention that. So such things can be done, which is going to help you to write report beautifully. So I hope this small explanation was helpful. Let's try to write few reports, and if in case you have any doubts, you can leave the comments here, or you can reach out to me through my phone number, and we can discuss more and get ourselves a little more trained. Thank you.